From a station working for you, this is breaking news from WRTV.
It's official, Indianapolis will be the home of March Madness. The city is finalizing plans to be the center of the men's college basketball universe just 2 months from now. And thank you for joining us. WRTV's Rafael Sanchez has been following this breaking news since he confirmed the decision early this morning. Rafael.
Megan, good afternoon. An exciting time for the city of Indianapolis. And for months, Indianapolis has been selling the idea that it can host the entire men's basketball tournament. The city has a track record, as you may know, of hosting some big events, including Big Ten games, Final Fours, and of course, one of the best organized Super Bowl games in NFL history. But this plan, of course, will now include using sporting facilities across Indianapolis, Bloomington in Monroe County, and West Lafayette in Tippecanoe County. The decision from the NCAA to let Indiana host this event is really a vote of confidence for the Indy Sports Corporation. That's the group which presented a comprehensive plan to the NCAA several months ago, as all parties look for a way to host the major basketball event in a safe manner for the players and the coaches, of course, during this pandemic. The NCAA, which is based right here in Indianapolis, is telling WRTV that the games will be played on 2 courts at various venues. In Indianapolis, we're talking about Lucas Oil Stadium, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Hinkle Fieldhouse, the home of the Butler Bulldogs, and Indiana Farmers Coliseum at the State Fairgrounds. Outside of Indianapolis, we're looking at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette, which will host some games, and so will the Simon Scott Assembly Hall in Bloomington in Monroe County. We're told for now that only 1 game at a time will be played at Lucas Oil Stadium. By the way, right now we are just monitoring and waiting for that official announcement to come from the NCAA, as well as the governor and the mayor of Indianapolis. As soon as it begins, we'll bring it to you live, either here on WRTV or WRTV.com. And Megan, by the way, Indianapolis was already scheduled to host the men's Final Four this year. It will also do so in the year 2026. And again, as soon as this official announcement becomes available, we'll bring it to you live right here on WRTV.com, and of course bring you the very latest developments tonight on the news at 5 o'clock. Reporting live, Rafael Sanchez, WRTV.
Thank you, Rafael. Great news for all the Hoosiers. And of course, we have a check of your weather on this Monday morning or Monday afternoon with Todd Clausen. Todd, man, what a first day to be back at work and really have some chilly temperatures.
Yeah, you know, it was cold this morning. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s, and we've been slowly inching those temperatures up a little bit here across the area. And the good news is today, at least, we have some sunshine in this forecast. In fact, today's probably going to be the day that's going to feature the most sunshine throughout the entire week. So unfortunately, it's happening the first day of the work week, but nonetheless, we'll take it when we can get it here across the area. 38 in Indy as well as Bloomington right now, 36 in Muncie. Here is the view. As you look past White River State Park and beyond, you see the blue sky and just some clouds out there. We had a little bit of patchy fog this morning, but that's burned off here across all of central Indiana. And you can see there's a little more in the way of cloud cover over towards Muncie and Richmond still. But as we expand out, it's not all that impressive, but there's a little disturbance here. And you notice there's not a whole lot of moisture with it. This is going to swing through the area as we head into the overnight hours, giving us the potential of a little bit of a light wintry mix. But until then, partly cloudy skies here this afternoon, a high temperature right around 40 degrees. This evening, if you have plans, you are just fine. We'll talk more, Megan, about that wintry mix as it makes its way through the area overnight, coming up in Maine weather in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Todd. Well, moments ago, the state health department updated Indiana's COVID-19 numbers. The department is reporting more than 3,600 new cases today. Another 39 deaths were added to the state's total. That gives Indiana 8,150 deaths since the pandemic began. And right now, students are back in their classroom seats in several Marion County schools. It's the first time since November because of COVID-19. Now, schools like Southport resumed face-to-face instruction starting tomorrow. Perry Township District will bring students back to the building as well. Kindergarten through 5th grade will attend Monday through Friday. Students in 6th through 12th grade will start a hybrid schedule then. Even though 12th graders have the option to return to a blended model, Southport High School senior Nick Frank decided to stick with virtual learning.
Like, they're doing the same things they do online and in person. It's just like preparing me for college, like being like dependent on myself and like getting all my work done and like figuring out myself.
One last note, school officials recommend parents remain ready to move back to virtual learning at any time in case COVID-19 numbers increase again. And covering the State House, the new legislative session gets underway in less than 2 hours from now. How your tax dollars are spent will be a primary focus for lawmakers since this year's session will be a budget session. Our Ray Steele takes a closer look.
Republicans are firmly in control of the State House. They increased their supermajority last November. But that does not mean there won't be drama, because there are clear disagreements among Republicans on some big issues. So we're putting on our referee shirt and practicing our 3 count, focusing on 3 topics that will get a lot of attention. Some Republicans don't like mask mandates and other COVID-19 rules. That's why there's no mask mandate for lawmakers during the session. But some want to go even further. They want to limit the governor's power to declare health emergencies and impose restrictions on businesses to protect your health. The governor naturally plans to push back, given that Indiana has some of the worst per capita coronavirus numbers in the entire country. This session is a budget session. It means lawmakers will lay out how your tax money will be spent for the next 2 years. Governor Holcomb has said he wants more money for K-12 schools. He has not said how much. However, it likely will not be the $600 million recommended by his Teacher Pay Commission that would bring teacher salaries in line with other states in the Midwest. As WRTV first reported over the weekend, 2 Republican lawmakers are pushing back on reforms aimed at Metro Police in Indy that were approved by the Democrats who control the city-county council. Republican Senators Jack Sandlin and Scott Baldwin want a state board to be put in charge of IMPD. They say it would, in their words, provide a new level of governance and civilian oversight. But the timing of the proposal may give away one reason for it. You may recall a council vote last October that gave civilians a majority of the General Orders Board that oversees IMPD procedures. Activists have called for that oversight for years, but especially after 2 fatal police shootings that happened last May. The Police Officers Union opposes the additional civilian oversight, and this new call for a state board has likely set up the latest grudge match over who exactly is in charge of local government policy. Working for you with State House Preview, Ray Steele, WRTV.
Nearly 7 months after her 20-year-old son was shot and killed in Indianapolis, a mother is joining others in calling for better communication from Metro Police. Chandler Bussey was killed on June 12th at Arsenal Park. So far, no one has been arrested in this case. And Chandler's mother says she also hasn't been able to reach detectives on this case. And families of other crime victims are having the same problem. Today, they're holding a demonstration outside the city-county building, calling for change.
It's unreasonable. Why has it been over a year and my family hasn't heard anything? Nothing has been done.
The mothers are also calling for better protection for witnesses of violent crimes. And we reached out to Metro Police for a comment, and IMPD sent the following statement to WRTV saying, in part, quote, IMPD has overcome many challenges this year, most notably the nationwide spike in violence brought to bear in our community. And despite the increased workload, our detectives remain focused on solving each and every homicide. And it's a phone call that could reverberate for quite some time. Next, how the president is still trying to overturn his election loss and whether his latest effort crossed a legal line. Todd.
And Megan, it's a pretty decent afternoon for us across the area with seasonable temperatures and even some sunshine right now. Things will be changing now overnight tonight. It's not a big weather maker, but it could bring a little bit of a wintry mix in here just in time, unfortunately, for the Tuesday morning drive. We'll break it all down for you coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
ABC's General Hospital.
Welcome back. It was a long phone call causing a long list of problems in Washington as President Trump seemed to attempt once again to hold on to power even though he lost the election. The president demanded that Georgia's top election official find him enough votes to overturn Joe Biden's victory in that state. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest.
It's a stunning audio recording whereby President Donald Trump appears to pressure Georgia's top election official.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
Trump pleading with Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to dig up enough votes to overturn Joe Biden's win there, even suggesting he could be criminally liable for not obliging.
You know what they did, and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense, and you can't let that happen. That's a big risk to you and to Ryan, your lawyer. That's a big risk.
But the votes in Georgia have already been counted 3 times, including an extensive recount by hand. The results unchanged. Joe Biden won the Peach State. Yet on that call, Trump insisting he wants the tally recalculated, citing conspiracy theories and baseless claims to argue he was victorious. Raffensperger telling Good Morning America the president is misinformed and the election was fair.
He did most of the talking, we did most of the listening, but I did want to make my points that the data that he has is just plain wrong.
But that's not stopping 140 House Republicans and at least 12 Republican senators from challenging the Electoral College results when Congress convenes Wednesday. The move is mostly show. They don't have the votes to overturn Biden's victory, and now some rank-and-file Republicans expressing outrage at their colleagues, including retired House Speaker Paul Ryan, who said it is difficult to conceive of a more anti-democratic and anti-conservative act than a federal intervention to overturn the results of state-certified elections and disenfranchise millions of Americans. And this explosive phone call playing out on the eve of that all-important Senate runoff race in Georgia tomorrow. So while President Trump continues to sow doubt on the election, tonight he's heading to Georgia to help Republicans maintain their narrow majority in the chamber, and President-elect Joe Biden, too, will be stumping in Georgia today. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News in Washington.
Well, she's proving that age is just a number. Next, we head to Carmel to hear from a grandmother who isn't letting the pandemic stop her from keeping a family tradition alive. You're watching the news at noon on WRTV. We're leaving you with a live look out here. You can see beautiful west view of Indianapolis. Next, we have Todd Clausen with your weekday forecast. Welcome back. One family is using the pandemic to create a bond that ties generations together. Our Troy Washington shows us how the grandmother who inspired the business is using quilting to pass the time and help others.
I have to keep busy, and especially with the lockdown, I'd have lost my mind if I wouldn't have had something to do.
This grandmother says in 2020, she donated more than 50 of her quilts to charity, and she plans to do even more good in 2021 with the help of her daughters.
I'm 95 years old, but God gave me the strength and some eyesight that I can still do that, and I enjoy doing it because I was taught that you do things for others. And I have tried to do that all of my life.
Edith Lessie is a resident at Carmel Senior Living now, and even though she's away from her daughters, the trio is still connected through their business, Generations Quilting Studio.
About a year ago, decided to start the business because we are obsessed with it, love it, love the people that we're involved with. It's been hard during the lockdown, but we've still managed to stay close with our customers, and
it just keeps us all connected at this time that we can't be in the same, closeness that we were.
These three say it's important to keep the quilting going.
That if we don't pass this on to the next generation, it'll be a lost art. And so we're keeping it going.
And according to Leslie, anyone can get into it.
And, it's not only for girls. The boys are quilting.
Yes.
And they're good at it.
Working for you, Troy Washington, WRTV.
I love that story. Thank you, Troy. And time now to get a check of our weather, of course, with Todd Clausen. Hey, Todd.
Hey, good afternoon there, Megan. It's not a bad day out there right now. We have the sunshine, which is always good. We haven't seen that in a little while. And temperatures are pretty seasonable for this time of year. And today is going to be maybe the best day of the week. And I never always like to have the best day of the week on Monday because it doesn't give you as much to look forward to. But all the other days this week, while there's no major storm systems heading our way, it is going to feature more in the way of cloud cover. You see the sunshine there and a few fair weather clouds, as well as you look off to the west. And as we go into the afternoon hours, we'll tack on a couple more degrees to the current temperature. We're at 38 right now in Indy, 39 in Shelbyville, and 36 is the current temperature in Muncie. Here's where your highs are going today, and generally right around 40 in and around the metro area, low 40s to the south in Bloomington and Columbus, and upper 30s for your high temperatures to the north, where there's just a little more in the way of snowpack on the ground, but we'll put a pretty good dent in that here throughout the day today with the sunshine and these above normal temperatures. You see the clear skies that stretch from Gary over towards the Indianapolis area down to Seymour. There's a little bit in the way of cloud cover still on the eastern side of the state, Muncie over to Richmond down towards the Greensburg area. And those clouds will hold on a little tougher here, I think, throughout the afternoon hours. And as we expand out, you notice this band of cloud cover, and earlier this morning there was a little more in the way of moisture with this band of cloud cover. You see just a few spotty showers here and snow showers to the north right now. Well, that's going to start to make its way in our direction once we get into the overnight hours. If you have plans this evening, you are just fine. It's just mostly cloudy as the clouds gather tonight, and temperatures will be hovering right around 33 to 34 degrees. The wintry mix is going to arrive overnight, and this is not a big storm system at all. In fact, it continues to show less and less in the way of moisture on TrueCast as we go throughout the course of the overnight hours, but the timing's just not great. It comes into the metro area in the heart of the state probably around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then it'll push off to the east by 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning, and then eventually it's out of here. So it's quick hitting, but it could impact the morning commute. The key will be temperatures. To the south, we're right around freezing, so probably not much of an issue, but to the north, there is the potential that we could see some minor accumulation, and by minor accumulation, we're talking about just a couple hundredths of an inch of snow. So that's basically a coating, but it could be enough just to slicken up the roads a bit for that Tuesday morning drive. So make sure you join Raphael, Megan, Lauren, and I on Good Morning Indiana tomorrow starting at 4:30, and I'll update you on the latest conditions and the rest of your 7-day planning forecast. As you see there, more clouds than sunshine, but temperatures at least still going to be pretty seasonable for this time of year in the 35 to 40 degree range. Megan?
Thanks, Todd. I'll take that sunny Monday. We appreciate it. Well, coming up, they went above and beyond to pay tribute to a cult classic TV show. We'll show you some fun pictures next. You're watching WRTV News at noon, leaving you with a live look outside as we return with more news.
Weather 24/7.
All right, you only thought the Tiger King craze was over. The Netflix favorite continues to show its influence today on pop culture. Check out what the Huntsville Havoc hockey team down in Alabama put on. Look at that, those jerseys right there on your screen. The team held a Tiger King night last night, and check out those jerseys inspired by the fashion of Joe Exotic himself, of course. Not only did the players sport the tiger print, yes, that's apparently a wound from a tiger on the chest of the jersey, Todd. And the hockey team also held in-game competitions featuring fans dressed as Joe Exotic, Carol Baskin, and other Tiger King favorites. Woo, Todd, man, oh man, are you a Tiger King fan?
I've seen a couple episodes of it, but then I was like, I can't take this anymore. So I just stopped watching. But
it's stuck in the hockey world.
Those jerseys, they might be the most crazy jerseys ever seen in any sport.
Yeah.
With the wound and all. All right. Outside right now, we have some sunshine. It's not a bad afternoon. You'll have to bundle up a little bit, but try to get outside for a little bit of exercise today with a temperature of 40 degrees. Overnight tonight, a little light wintry mix slides through the area. It's nothing major. And as far as any snow accumulation, I think it's relegated just to north of Indianapolis. And it's probably a coating at best. But there could be a few slick spots tomorrow morning for your commute. Keep that in mind. Otherwise, the next best chance of some sunshine, not until Saturday with a high of 36. Megan?
Thanks for making WRTV your choice at noon. We'll see you right back here for news at 5. Have a good afternoon.